Hello, and welcome back to the Pure Nintendo Podcast. This is your weekly dose of all things Nintendo. My name is Jemma, and joining me this week, I have the effervescent Kirk. Are you feeling effervescent today?
Sure. Yes. Why
Sorry.
not?
That was random. It just came out of nowhere. I don't know what I'm going to say before I say it most of the time. So
Hey, I'll take it.
I feel like you're pretty effervescent usually. You bring a lot something to the show, which I love. So thank you.
All right, but my own sense of bubbly.
Yes, exactly. And we have another show full of games to talk about because there was another Nintendo Direct this week, which kind of came out of nowhere, I suppose. Considering we had one the week before, and then this week we got a Indie World Showcase, which was a little bit shorter. It's only 15 minutes worth of content, but still managed to squeeze in 18 games from indie developers. So this was on the 7th of August. I think you watched it live, did you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. What time was it on for you?
9 a.m. Eastern U.S.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if I would watch it live, but I did. It was on 11 p.m. my time, which isn't too late, but I would normally probably be trying to go to sleep around that time. And I was awake, and so I thought, well, I'm awake. I might as well. It's only 15 minutes. I might as well watch it. So I did watch it live. And I thought it was really neat. I love indies. I think they're just when I've met them at PAX, for example, or every time they're interviewed on these types of showcases, like there was how many interviews were there in this one? There was at least one. You can just feel that kind of enthusiasm and that, and then following the show. I don't know if you saw online, a lot of devs were, you know, tweeting, for want of a better word, posting, let's say, so we don't use the Twitter acronym, or not acronym, term. And they were so excited to be involved in the showcase. Like it means a lot to these teams. So I think it's really exciting. What do
Yeah.
you think of that?
Yeah, I bet if I were a developer and I had a game that was going to be in a direct, like you would want to show it in a theater and pull them all
Yeah.
out, say, look, that's
Mhm.
me, that's me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I generally like the indies, like you said, because I think there's an enthusiasm behind it. That I don't want to say it's more genuine because I think anyone working on a game, no matter how large the company is going to be
Mm.
excited about it.
Mhm.
But there's sort of like an enthusiasm that you don't get necessarily from AAA developers either, because there are so many people working on it that you just feel like you're a cog in the machine. I think with indie developers, this is my baby, and I'm really excited to have this coming out.
Yeah. I get that. I get that feeling as well. Yeah, it is their baby. Yeah, so we'll go through the games that were showcased and pick out a few favorites. I don't know if any stood out to you in particular, Kirk, but as we go through, please, highlight the ones that you
Oh,
like.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So they kick things off with what I guess is one of the biggest in this list, mainly because it's from Yacht Club Games, who is the team behind Shovel Knight, and this one's called Mina the Hollower. And it's are you familiar with Shovel Knight? No, I know you're familiar with it, but have you played it?
I haven't played it. I'm very familiar with it, the
Mhm.
various incarnations of it.
Yeah.
But no, I honestly have never sat down to play one of the games, and that's my fault.
No, well, me neither. And Trevor's always telling me to. So
Yes. Yeah. Well, I've gotten
it's
that lecture also.
I don't know how I haven't because it looks pretty cool. Like it's a platformer, as in Shovel Knight is a platformer, and it's really retro, as in it's kind of 8-bit style. This Mina the Hollower is also in that kind of atro. Sorry, that was 8-bit and retro together. Atro.
All right, we got a new term,
Yeah,
atro.
atro.
Atro, 16 tro. We'll go with all of them.
You heard it here first, folks. So yeah, this is another 8-bit style retro type of game, but it's not a side scroller. It's like I guess it's a top down kind of perspective, and it's kind of got an RPG, like a classic Zelda style RPG feel to it, if that makes sense. They didn't really talk a lot about it. They showed it and then they gave us a date, which is the 31st of October. And it does come out on Switch 1 and Switch 2. And since the direct, I found out what that means. And there is a Switch 2 specific version that runs at 120 frames per second, which is pretty cool. It's a really like it's like I said, atro. So you wouldn't think it needs the treatment, but just watching a couple of videos with the demo and the comparison, it's pretty cool, the difference. Of course, it runs fine on Switch. It's not a high, what is it? A high intensive game, but yeah.
Yeah, not a graphic processor intensive game.
Mm, mhm. But neat that the team could find a way to give Switch 2 owners something, unique that goes with the system. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah. So I did download the demo and I finished it, actually. I always feel proud of myself when I actually finish a demo. They're not usually that long, but, I sometimes don't still make it. Some demos are quite long. I've had demos that have been hours long. I'm sure you've had this case as well.
Hmm.
Mm. This one, I think it took me over an hour, to be honest, but to be fair, I died a lot. So I saw someone on YouTube do it in like 25 minutes or something. But it was really fun. It's really hard. I think Shovel Knight is meant to be tricky as well. As I said, I haven't played it, but I get the feeling that this team likes their atro titles to be like they were back in the day. Um, NES hard kind of thing, right? That's kind of a phrase that comes to mind.
Yeah.
But yeah. So you play the role of a little mouse named Mina, and you can choose your weapon. There's 3 types. There's a knife. No, sorry, a sword, like this chain kind of thing, like a bull on a chain. And the third one, I don't remember what the third one was. Maybe an axe. Yeah, I think it was an axe. I chose the chain and went around kind of whipping people, I guess, into shape. But yeah, like I said, it's really tricky. There's a couple of boss fights along the way, and then kind of ends. Um, there's lots to kind of discover. There's lots to collect. There's a cool little story where there's someone's invading this town, and you're kind of trying to save the town. Yeah, you get to sort of talk to people along the way. Like it's very interactive in that sort of RPG kind of sense. So one to look out for, and it comes out October 31st, so not too far. The full game comes out then. So yeah, definitely give the demo a try and see what you think. Is that something that sounds interesting to you, Kirk?
When you started talking about how hard it was, and then I thought maybe not.
Yeah, I was surprised how hard it was. I thought I would be good, and especially because it's just the demo, which is like the intro to the game, really. I'm like, I got this. I played plenty of top-down RPGs, like action RPGs. Uh, yeah, I died quite a bit. The enemies are really hard. Mina has this very cool mechanic though, which is like she can tunnel down into the ground, as long as it's not like cement or something. But most surfaces she can dig into, and you can use that to find hidden sort of treasures, or go under things, or go under enemies and avoid kind of attacks. So that opens up a lot for a bit of a puzzly experience as well, where you have to work out how do you get across this pathway, because there's gaps or there's barriers or whatever. So yeah, I can see that being pretty well explored in the full game, and this gives you a pretty good taste of it. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Mina the Hollower. But yeah, definitely one that I think people seem to be pretty excited about online. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool. Mm. Next up was Well Dweller. Now this one, is this the bird one? Did you see this one? It looked,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it looks pretty neat, I thought. Like the graphics looked really nice. I like that sort of art style. Did that inspire you at all? What did you think of that?
Yeah, no, yeah, this is like one of those indie games where they show it and I'm like, is this one really indie? Because it
Yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
really had a lot of polish to the
Mhm.
design. But yeah, I thought this was a great one to start off with.
Mm.
Since it gave the whole event kind of like we're serious about the games that we're showing you here today.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you play the role of a tiny bird armed with a matchstick who must burn the wicked queen to save his family before they become part of her royal gown, which is, yeah, okay, kind of dark. But yeah, like we said, the graphics just look super lovely, really, really nice. Looks
And
quite hard
creepy.
and creepy. Yeah, 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 exactly. And I think it's got a Metroidvania kind of vibe to it. Like it looks like there's a lot of exploration to do. Did you see that map overview at some point where there's like,
Yeah,
yeah.
boy, that looked like a very complicated map we're staring at.
Yeah, it did. It did indeed, yeah. So that will be an interesting one. Now this one comes out for the Switch, which is the other, cool, I guess, thing when they said it's for the Switch, not the Switch 2. As in, it probably will work on the Switch 2, but it's not a specific Switch 2 version. What I mean by that is, it looks so nice, like we've said, and it's a Switch game. And not that Switch games can't look nice, but I love that it does look beautiful. And I wouldn't have been surprised if they told me it was Switch 2 just based on the way it looked. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? Maybe I'm being selfish, and my apologies to everyone out there who doesn't have a Switch 2.
Mm.
But when they announced that, I was thinking, well, how much cooler could this look had they gone specific for the Switch 2 or releasing a Switch
Mm.
2 version? So
Mhm.
I was honestly a little disappointed in that. Not enough that I'm not looking forward to the game, of course.
Yes.
Because yeah, I think, like you said, it looks so good. Um,
Yeah.
being just for Switch, that I'm sure it's going to be great.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, exactly. And this one has, I guess, a vague release date of 2026, and there's a few
Hmm.
games like that on this list. And I think that's kind of the case with these indie titles as opposed to the third-party ones that have a bit more of a specific time frame. These ones, I guess, because they're a small team. Well, I don't know how small World Dweller is specifically, but a lot of these indie teams, I think that's kind of the definition, right? It's a small team, almost
Yeah.
self-funded in a way. Their release period is a bit bigger until it gets closer. So, yeah, one for next year for sure. And it certainly means, saying what you said about the Switch 2 is a good point. At least it means Switch players do have a lot to look forward to. But does that work against what you just said? As in, people who don't have a Switch 2 are less likely to get a Switch 2 because there's good content coming for the Switch.
Yeah. Yeah, that I mean, that's part of it.
Yeah, yeah.
We gotta start driving more people towards the new system, I think, and,
Mm, mm.
but, like I said, if I'm only saying that selfishly because I have a Switch too, and, if you're holding on to your Switch, you've got no shortage of excellent content heading your way.
Yeah. I wonder how long do we think Nintendo will support the Switch?
I bet for a while, a couple years probably.
Yeah, yeah, I'd
Yeah.
say so. Looking at this, what they've been talking about recently from the third parties and from this list, it doesn't
Mhm.
seem like it's slowing down, which is good. But yeah, at some point, I suppose they will change focus. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Next up is Neverway. And I think this was one that was an interview type of situation where they interviewed the two devs there.
Yeah,
This
the
is,
the
yeah.
2 just the coolest looking devs I've ever seen in my
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
Like, the moment they came on the screen, like, I don't know what they're creating, but I gotta get the game from this couple.
Yes.
Couple of developers, excuse me. I don't know if they're a couple. I didn't mean to imply anything there.
Yeah, well, there were a couple, like 2 people, which is a couple, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I get what you
Yeah.
mean. And this one has another kind of interesting look, very different to the previous one, but it's still very interesting. And it's described as, how did they describe it? It was a
Uh,
nightmarish life sim RPG, mm, which is coming to the Switch again in 2026, and just looks kind of crazy. Yeah. So, was this one that stood out to you then?
yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
it did. Yeah, I'm not huge into life sims, but if you can
Mm.
put like some kind of unique bent to it, I'm more interested. That looks like it's exactly what they've done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the horror elements look good. The graphics, I really like the color palettes that they're using here. Like everything has
Yeah.
kind of like a purple sheen, or it looks like actually that switches up. But so visually, I think it's going to be an attractive game to play. I'm interested. Yes.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I do like the color palette as well. You're right. It's like each scene has a main color, like red or purple or green, and the
Hmm.
rest is, hues of that, I suppose, which is a really cool style. It does
Yeah,
look like
and
yeah, sorry.
I was just going to say, I'm curious to see how they use that. Like if the different
Mm.
colors, if we're just in a different area, or it's meant to like the color somehow represents something going on with the character in the game. So I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
seeing how that's integrated.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. Very cool. Looking forward to that one. To more information. I'm sure we'll hear more, over the next 6 months or so. Now the next one stood out to me actually a little bit, and this is called Herdling. And it comes out pretty soon. This one, this is August the 21st for the Switch, and it's your job is to guide a herd of these creatures. I can't remember the name of them. They look like bison to me, but they weren't, or yaks maybe, but they're not yaks. They're a made up creature. They're not an actual earthbound creature. But you're guiding this herd of creatures up the mountains and beyond, and there's something at the summit, some kind of mystery. And I just thought it looked really neat. Uh, yeah, what did you think about this one? Did this stand out to you at all? Or was it just me?
Yeah, well, this one is visually, yeah, it stood out, and
Mm.
like I couldn't get a feel for what the gameplay is.
Mm.
Um,
Mhm.
so I want to learn more about this one. Like, are you just hurting these animals? Is there
Yeah, it looked
Are
like
there
there was
puzzle elements? Is it all more dexterity kind of thing? Like you just need to
Mhm.
make sure they're all heading the right way. So yeah, I visually, I there's got to be something more because it looks like there's all this
Mm.
destruction going on. And based on some of the screenshots that we have here, like it looks like a very barren world, and so I
Mm.
assume there's something behind that, and I don't know what it is. So I need to pay more attention.
Yes. Yeah, well, they call it, I guess, sorry, they call it a Grand Alpine Expedition, but I do think there must be some kind of puzzle element. You're right, the trailer didn't give it away too much, but I think there's, danger and kinda obstacles along the path, and it looks like I don't know yet what the goal sorry, the goal is to get to the summit, but I don't know whether these beasts kind of stray at all and you have to get them back, or whether they're kind of easy and it's more about getting through the path that's the obstacle that you have to actually that's the challenging part, or if it's a bit of both. Because I thought of Pikmin, for example, and I know these are giant beasts compared to the cute little Pikmin, creatures that we love. But they follow you, the Pikmin, right? Once you call them, they're kinda with you, unless they get
Yes.
stuck somewhere, and I wonder if that's the case because he has a staff which seems to call to these creatures in this game, Herdling, and I wonder if that's the same kind of Pikmin-ish thing where once you've called them with the staff, they kind of stay within your little zone, and yeah, I'm not sure, and maybe they attack, so maybe it's got a Pikmin vibe to it in that sense. But I think it's interesting. You don't see many games like this, I think. So I'm hoping I hope it does well and it stands out and it is good. Of course, we'll find out soon enough because it's out in a few weeks. But definitely, like you said, the visual styles for sure stood out for this one. Yeah. Again, I was thinking with this one, this could have easily been a Switch 2 game. As in, I would love to see how this would look as a Switch 2
Hmm.
title. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what I bet as I think about it is a lot of these indie games, they probably in development for a very long time.
Hmm. Yeah.
The cycles just tend to run longer for those. So the game was coming to Switch before the Switch 2 was announced and they had dev kits.
True.
So,
Mhm.
I totally get it this close to the launch.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a really good point. Next up is a little game called Is This Seat Taken? Which is actually out right now on the Switch. And this one, I think, Kirk, we might be getting a code for this one, to be
Oh,
honest. Yeah, I got an email from the dev, but the code was missing from the email. So it said, here's your code, and then it was just blank. So I'm like, oh, hey, we'd love to review this if you have a code. So we'll see. This one looks really neat, and my son actually recognized this. I've watched the direct a couple of times, and the second time I watched it, my son, my youngest, he watched it with me, and a few games on this list he recognized because he's like, "Oh yeah, I've seen people play this on Steam," and this is one of them. So he was really interested in this one. It's sort of like a puzzle game where there's these little cute type of people who are sort of hanging around outside a scene, a top-down perspective, a scene, and they have some kind of direction, like the speech bubble that says, "I want to do this," or "I like this," or "I feel like doing this," or whatever it is, and you have to move them and sit them in the scene next to the right thing or next to the right people. uh, what a neat idea. What a different kind of concept. I don't know. What did you think about this one?
yeah, exactly what you said. I like, and you get this more in the indie dev or indie
Mm,
directs than you do in the other ones. These like really unique games that play differently from what you've done before.
yeah.
I'm all for that. I'm the kind of guy who, if I'm sitting alone at a table somewhere, please don't put anyone next to me.
Yeah.
That's always my choice.
Yeah.
So in real life, it's kind of my nightmare, but the gameplay looks like it could be a lot of fun. It reminds me somewhat of like those puzzles where you get these a lot in puzzle games, adventure games, where you have four people and they all have like one rule about where they got to
Mm,
be, and so
mhm.
you need to decide, okay, well, this person has to be furthest to the left and this one has to be two seats away from the one on the right, and so you're
Yeah.
kind of like mapping the whole thing out. It's like a whole game that takes that puzzle concept and just twists it a little bit into like a full scenario where you've got to get everyone seated.
Yeah, it's almost like a logic problem,
Yeah,
isn't it? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I think that looks really cool. So that is out now. So listeners, let us know if you've had a chance to try that one. Hopefully, we'll be trying it very soon, and we'll give you our thoughts when we do. But yeah, that one looks really cool. Next up is Little Kitty Big City, and this is not a new game. This one came out. When was this? I think it was only last year. Was it
yeah,
last
it's
year?
fairly recent. Yeah,
Yeah, so I reviewed this on the Switch last year, and was a big fan of it. It's a really cute game. I don't wanna use the word cozy. I think that's overused, and I don't think it is necessarily that genre. You're a cat wandering the city. You have a goal, which is you're trying to get back to your apartment, but along the way, you meet different people, you help different animals, like you might have to round up some ducklings and take them back to their mother, for example. There's lots to collect. It's a really cute, really fun sort of game. And this is an update, which is a free update, and it comes out in the direct. They said this year, and then online they've since clarified that it's actually August the 27th. And I got excited and went to download it because I didn't realize. I thought it was out now, and I'm like playing it, going, I can't see how to change my cat color, my cat pattern. And then I looked it up, like, oh wait, it's the end of August. Okay, whoops. So I'll try it again at the end of August. But yeah, it's a free update that lets you kind of tinker with your cat and make your cat like your own. In the original game, you can get hats for your cat. I'm
hmm
saying cat a lot, but that's because it's a game about cats. And in this one now, you can change the color of the cat and the pattern. There's also some kind of new photo um, mode or an enhancement to the photo mode, because I'm pretty sure that was already a thing that existed. But yeah, it's called the Picture Perfect update, of course. So yeah.
Yeah, I need to voice my opposition to the way this game was presented. Enough with the cat puns. We don't need them every single time.
Yeah,
We've heard them
yeah.
all before. Every single time we have a cat game, we got to go through the exact same puns.
Yeah, this
Cut it
is true. Mhm.
out. But I don't want to be a, Debbie Downer, so I do want to point out that I think the ability to update the look of the cat is probably the best feature they could have rolled into this.
Mhm. Yep.
Because who owns a cat and is playing this video game and doesn't want to put his or her cat in the
Oh,
game?
absolutely.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got to change it to your own cat like right away.
Yes.
So yeah, that was a very good idea.
Yeah, I think so too, and I thought the same thing. I don't currently have a cat, but I have had many cats, and,
hmm
I straight away thought, "I wonder if I can make the pattern look," 'cause I had this cat that had this, it was a white cat, but it had these black spots on it, and it was pretty unique, and I'm like, "I wonder if I can move the spot to where my cat had his spot to make it look like that cat." 'Cause that would be cool. Yeah, that would
Yeah.
be very cool. Yeah, so and it's free, so it's coming out soon, so keep an eye for that one. Something to get people back into the game or visit it for the first time. The next one is kind of a horror game, I think. It's called Content Warning. And I don't know if you've heard of this one before, Kirk. I had not, but this was another one that my son had heard of. He seems to know more about these games now than I do. It's an age, isn't it? This looks really unique. I was gonna say weird, but unique. You are like a human, I guess, dressed in these astronaut-ish outfits because you're delving underground to capture footage of monsters, I think, and then you have to go back upstairs to your house and put it onto social media and get a view quota, and you have 3 days to hit this view quota, so the more views, obviously, the better. It's what a bizarre concept. Um, it's coming out for Switch 1 and Switch 2, they said, which means to me, that means they're having a Switch 2 specific version, and it comes out in 2026. What did you think of this?
Well, I had two thoughts. First, I like the way it looked.
Mhm,
I like the graph. Like it was hard to even pinpoint what I was looking at because
mhm,
parts of it look really detailed and other parts look very basic.
mhm.
And I liked that kind of juxtaposition in what I was seeing. The whole concept just makes me feel really, really old. Like in the old days, it was enough to just go catch ghosts or exterminate, not exterminates. What's the word I'm looking for? Why did I lose it?
Oh, like
Whatever you do to ghosts to send them on
yeah.
their merry way.
Yeah.
But no, now you've got to upload it to social media and get clout for it. So that part is probably lost on me. And my kids will love it though. They're all about
Yeah.
sharing stuff.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, like, the aim is to go viral, so
yeah,
that's such a new, like, 20th, what is it, 21st century concept, not even early 21st century, that's, like, the last when did viral things start to go viral? I mean, social media only really came around 20 odd years ago, so
yeah.
yeah.
Probably about maybe 15 years ago, around there, where we first
Yeah.
started talking about viral
Yeah.
videos and such. Yeah, I
Hmm.
don't know.
Yeah. So it sounds fun, like, it's a co-op, so you're obviously working together to film these things. Um, yeah, it could be really fun. I think, like you said, your kids and probably my kids would like this. So yeah, we'll find out more about that in 2026. But yeah, I like that there's two versions of it. Yeah, the visuals were interesting. I don't know how that works. Maybe it was not final footage, but it's also, I guess it's some kind of port if it's already available on, I think, Steam, it must be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah. So interesting. We'll see. Maybe not for us, but we'll see. Next up is something, and I think there was another interview for this one. I think this was a dude holding a bowl of fruit. Was this that guy?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Bull, I think he called it Bull Pit, but it's like Bull X Pit, which I'm now calling Bull and Pit because of Drag and Drive, and then people calling Drag X Drive Drag. So confusing. Maybe just call it Bull Pit. But anyway, I think that's what he's calling it. Bull Pit. It's a low poly pixel art style. It's a survival roguelike. It features auto-scrolling levels, and I guess the goal is you're sort of at the bottom of the screen, working your way up in this kind of narrow, yeah, hallway or whatever you want to call it. And at the top are all these enemies, and you're firing balls at them, I suppose, and they're bouncing back and forth and hitting the enemies. So it looks like what's that classic game where you hit the balls against the wall and you've got a
Uh,
paddle?
Boy, it's got a lot of names. Breakout,
Yeah, like brick.
Arkanoid,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
and yeah, because I had the exact same thought, was that it's kind of like Arkanoid, except a lot more involved.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it does look like that because the balls are, and there's a lot of balls, like, they're just going
Yeah.
crazy. They're going everywhere. And I believe he did say a number, I didn't write it down, sorry, but he said there's some X number of balls to create or collect or something as well, which maybe they have different powers. I didn't quite grasp whether you could merge them or create your own kind of based on elements or something like that. But it looked like there was more to it, as in, you're doing this attack thing, but then there was also this world building element to it outside of
Mhm.
that, which I'm less interested in that. I don't wanna make rooms or anything. I don't know what if that was something you do, but I like the arcade style of the attacking. I think that looked really cool,
Yeah.
really neat, yeah. Really different idea. Like a lot of these games are, taking something that we know pretty well, like Breakout, and making something very different out of it. A survival
Yeah.
roguelike, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking too of, like, when you get multi-ball and pinball, and you gotta keep them all up.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that kind of chaos, except much probably a lot more closer to a bullet hell game than,
Yeah.
just having 3 pinballs on a table.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
but yeah, this one looks like it could be a whole lot of fun. I
Mhm.
also wondered if it's one of those games where you would be able to rotate if you're playing the Switch in handheld mode, so you're looking at it in portrait
Yes.
and
Yeah.
get like a better view of the gameplay area. They didn't indicate that, so probably not. But
No, I thought the same thing because it is that kind of, yeah, it looks like it's in portrait, as in
mhm,
the area that you're playing in. That would be perfect, and if you've got touch controls, or you probably wouldn't even need that, you could still use a pro controller, but just, have, I don't
yeah,
know how can you stand up a Switch 2 on its side like that? We'd have to hold it and maybe use your finger, like touch
yeah,
controls,
you'd
yeah.
have to balance it precariously on
Mm.
a table and
Yeah.
hope for the best.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure Nintendo doesn't want that. Uh, this one's out pretty soon. It's out, October the 15th on the Switch, and there is a Switch 2 version, which is coming in the fall, which fall is end of this year, right? So that's not too
Yeah,
much later. Mhm.
September, October, early November, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, so I imagine the Switch version will come out October 15th, and the Switch 2 will follow
Yeah, it
closely
would have to
behind.
follow pretty, yeah. If they're saying fall, it'll follow pretty quickly.
Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty soon. Yeah, so looking forward to more on that one. The chaos, let the chaos ensue. Next up is, I guess it's kind of a sequel. Do you know Ultimate Chicken Horse, Kirk? Are you familiar with
No,
that?
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah. Nope.
This is a game that I've played with my kids. We played it at my brother's house, actually. He got us onto it. It's a crazy it's a bit like a what would you describe it as? It's like Mario Maker in a way. Like, you make levels and there's a goal. They're relatively simple levels. You can choose kind of a background, and then you each round it's for sort of for 4 players, and I'll get to the sequel in a sec, but the original one, just to give people an idea if they don't know. Each round you choose an item and you can build that item onto the level. And so each round the levels build because you might put something like a box so you can jump to the other side more easily. Or you might put a chainsaw so that people can't jump to the side easily. And the goal is to get to the other side, and there's like a flag. And the first one to get to the flag gets the most points. And if you die, you don't make it, get 0 points. And so there's all these rounds, and there's a goal, and eventually the winner is the one who makes it through all the rounds and gets the most points, basically. Does that explain it? Do you understand that concept?
I
Right.
think so, except like if it's multiplayer, how do you decide? Like, when do you set things up? Could everybody see what everyone else is
Yes.
putting in place?
Everyone
Okay.
can see. It's all on the one screen. You as the round starts, there's 4 items to choose from, I think, and you have to be quick and choose it before someone else if you want that item. And then you go into the level starts, but you can't move yet. You're just moving the cursor, and you place your item. Once everyone's placed their items, then it starts, and then it's like a platformer, and you have to. And the reason it's called Ultimate Chicken Horse is because these weird looking creatures like chickens, like they're just chickens and horses, but they're kind of weird, or standing on their hind legs, kind of thing. They look kind of goofy, but they're fun. And you're trying to kind of get to the side, but also stop other people from getting to the other side. So you want to make it hard, but not too hard. Otherwise, you kind of knock yourself out. That's like, there's all sorts of crazy things. There's explosions, there's fans that blow you backwards, and then there's like spiky ground. There's, like I said, kind of chainsawy things. There's hockey sticks that hit hockey pucks at you. And if you get hit by this thing, you're out of this round. So it's
Oh, so it
chaotic.
doesn't just slow you down; it actually knocks you
It
out.
knocks you out, yeah,
Okay.
and it's chaotic, it's really chaotic, but it's very fast paced, like, the rounds are very quick because once everyone dies, it's over, and you build. So the original level is really simple, it just has a little platforming level to it, and then as you put these items on, it gets just crazy, and it gets really hard, so it's super fun, and this sequel now is called Ultimate Sheep Raccoon, and it features 8 players, which I can't imagine how chaotic that's going to be. But it looks like from the trailer that you're driving vehicles this time around, you're not just jumping, and hence the levels are a bit longer, but it looks like it's the same setup where you're picking items and putting them on the level and trying to stop people from getting through while you're still getting through. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and then from the screen captures, it looks like you can equip accessories on your character too, maybe?
Ah,
Like, I'm
yeah.
seeing some
Mhm.
people on bikes, and then another person's on a bike and obviously has some kinda jetpack attached to it.
Yeah, okay. Could be. Yeah. I don't know, but it's it's gonna be completely nuts, honestly. And this one comes out winter, they said, for Switch 1 and Switch 2. Yeah, I would probably give this one a go simply because we have enjoyed, Ultimate Chicken Horse. Ultimate Sheep Raccoon sounds strange to me because we're so used to Ultimate Chicken Horse, but yeah, it's a different way to name a sequel, right?
I guess so, and it does look like there are a chicken and a horse in this one too, so maybe they
Mm.
just added the sheep and the raccoon and gave them top billing, but if you prefer the chicken and the horse, they seem to still be there.
Yeah, 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 exactly. And so as you go, you unlock more levels, like, to play in, and more characters usually as well. So, yeah, it grows. It's not just like there's 1 level or 5 levels, there's, like, more as you progress. So it does have a bit of longevity that way. Yeah. But yeah, it is tricky, it's hard, but fun. So we'll see. See how that one goes. Next up, and I think this was another interview, is Glaciered?
Yes,
Yeah?
glaciered.
Glaciered, right. This one looks pretty interesting. I didn't write down if this was Switch 1 or 2. I think it was Switch 1. maybe, but I was kind of surprised about that. So it's set in the future, I think 65 million years in the future, and there's this evolved alien species that's protecting the oceans in these underwater worlds. It's kind of got JRPG elements, which look pretty fun, and I guess there's other exploratory elements as well. But it looked to me like, um, what's the ocean one? What's the, what's the ocean one that Nintendo does? I've mental blank.
Yeah,
En-
I'm having the same blank.
endless ocean?
And
Is it endless ocean?
yes, something
Yes.
like that. Yeah.
So it looks like endless ocean with combat and also like aliens to me. That's how it kind of looks, the vibe I suppose I was getting from it. But I thought the look was pretty neat. I don't know what you thought about the combat. Did that appeal to you at all, or was it a bit too
Well,
weird?
yeah,
How did you
it's
feel?
funny because they said JRPG, and then I immediately get like an image of what that has to
Mhm,
be. Not not definitively, but and this didn't look like that. So
mhm,
it's another one where I need to see more visually. I loved
mhm.
it. The combat, like it seemed to be mostly exploration based to me as opposed to fighting.
Yeah. Mhm,
And the fighting that we did see looked more like arcadey than I would get from like an RPG. But
mhm.
that doesn't mean I'm not interested. Underwater games always appeal to me a bit. I really love the visuals, the color. We've talked about color palette a couple times now.
Mm, mhm.
But the darker, deeper blues and blacks that you get when exploring underwater, the freedom of movement that you get when exploring underwater, all of these, when they're done right, can be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to this because from the trailer, it looks like they might have gotten it right.
Yeah, yeah. I think those are really excellent points, and I must clarify, it's Switch 2, this one, not
Okay.
Switch 1. So it is Switch 2 in winter 2025, which we talked about winter last week, was it? Because of Hyrule Warriors. And winter really starts late in the northern, like, for the US, doesn't it start at
Yeah.
the end of December? So
Yeah. It's like mid December, I think, is when winter
yeah.
officially starts.
Mhm. Yeah.
But if they say winter 2025, then I think there's a better shot of it actually hitting that. If they just say winter on its own, yeah, we could be all the way into the beginning of March.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Mhm. Yeah, so I love like you said, the visuals. When you're underwater, it gives you a lot more to play with than you might get up on the surface. Obviously, the colors work for you as well. You've obviously
Hmm.
got that the ability to kind of float. In terms of movement, you can go up and down vertically as well as forward. So you've got that. There's much more space to play with. I think this is just another good example of taking something, maybe that we've taking something a new concept what's really a new concept, isn't it? Taking something we might know, such as, say, Endless Ocean or just JRPGs in general. I know it's not the classic style that you've said, but taking those 2 kind of thought bubbles and maybe meshing them into a new not a new genre, but a new concept, really. So,
Yeah.
yeah, very interesting, and I hope it works well. It'll be very interesting to see how that goes when it comes out this year, hopefully, holiday season. So, yeah. I don't know. It's like you said, we get these little glimpses and they look really neat. Maybe this is a game that could use a demo at some point?
Yeah, I think I would like that to it, because I'm talking about the freedom of movement in the ocean, but when you're doing action combat with that freedom of movement, it also can be pretty hard.
Yeah, yeah,
Since you're going up and down, freedom, you're going in all directions.
yeah,
So
yeah.
developers need to accommodate that in the combat system, and sometimes they're more successful than others. So I think a demo would help us see right away how successful they were.
Yes, I agree. So we might see something pop up closer to release date. Next up is this when they started? No. Is this when they went through a whole bunch at once? Is this the start of that? I
They
think it
did
is.
run that past us that quickly, didn't
Yeah,
they?
that's why I didn't really write
Yeah.
a lot about this last lot. So at the end of the direct, they did sort of speed run a little bit through these last kind of what we got sort of 8 here. Winter Burrow was the first one, which is I guess some kind of cute mouse in a they call it a cozy woodland survival game where you gather, craft, bake, and meet the locals. Could be cool. Could be cool. But they didn't give us a lot of information. This was just like a very short trailer, like I don't know, 10 seconds each, 20 seconds each kind of thing for each of these. This one comes out winter 2025 on the Switch. And just let me know if you have anything to add to any of these, Kirk, as we go through.
Uh, this one, sticking with our focus on visuals,
Mhm.
I like the kind of storybook appeal to this.
Mm, mhm,
Yeah, it looks like it could be a really cute. Um, Again, they say cozy
mhm.
trip through the woods, and a little adventure with this little mouse is something I can get behind. So yeah, let's learn more about this one too.
Yeah. I think we're getting a lot of mice-related outings at the moment. This
Yeah,
is the
we are.
3rd one because we had last week Hella, right?
Yep,
And then this week we've had, Mina, whatever it was, the first one,
Mina.
Mina, yeah, and then we've got, this one as well, so it's kind of a bit of a theme. You're right, visually, this looks really, really neat. It's very cute and sharp, like, the graphics, it's not pixelated at all, is it? It's almost like I don't know if it's hand-drawn, but it looks very yeah, like they're well-defined characters, and the mouse is, like, with ants, like, talk I don't know if he's talking to ants or battling ants, but yeah, it could be really cool. So we'll
Yeah.
see find out more about that one. Winter 2025 again, we'll see if that actually happens. Might be 2026. Undusted, Letters from the Past, which is an October release. This one looks to be a bit like what is it? A cleaning game, this one, right? Like the dust of the title is you're getting the dust, like it's called Undusted. You kind of have to clean items with a brush and get the items, get the dust off the items. So I don't know if that makes it a puzzle game. They call it a cozy and heartfelt cleaning game. I think the character in the trailer goes to her mother's house after she passes, and she's tidying up this long abandoned house and restoring mementos, etc. Which, yeah, I think that's a sweet premise. Awakening memories buried in dust. So, yeah, another unique take on, I guess, a puzzle type of genre. Anything to add to that one?
Yeah, I don't know what the gameplay is,
Mm,
and there doesn't need to be. If the whole point is that you're cleaning things and you're learning about stuff, and it's more of kind of like a heartfelt kind of game, then that's perfectly fine.
mhm.
So I would need to see a little bit more about what this game actually is doing.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the case where, and I imagine it's quite a short game, which is fine. A lot of these indie games are shorter than some of the
Hmm.
big titles, but that's perfectly fine. They're usually priced that way anyway, and they're more about the experience and enjoying it kind of while it lasts. But yeah, is it the case where you sort of have rooms to explore, and as you're in a room, you kind of find objects and then you clean the objects, and maybe there's a checklist or something, I don't know. And as you unlock each one, maybe a story unfolds where you think back to this character's mother and she probably has some sort of memory that happened at the time. So maybe it's, yeah, I'd say it's quite story based, but yeah, we'll need more because the trailer is really short. It's like 30 seconds. So
Yeah.
there's not a lot to go on, but yeah.
I did pull up the game on Steam,
Oh,
and
yeah.
won't go into too many things on the game features, but
Mhm.
the one bullet point struck me. It says, "Forget about time limits and failure. Just
Nice.
relax and enjoy. The items won't break like they do in real life."
Oh, that's
Like,
cool.
yeah, that doesn't appeal to it.
Yeah.
As a guy who's broken things in real life, sure.
Yeah. I like that. So that really is cozy then. It's just really just about, yeah, I guess the story and the objects and just discovering what
Yeah.
you can. So yeah, it's just meant to be a bit of an escapism, I'd say. Yeah.
Oh, they also say here, enjoy the oddly satisfying sensation you get in ASMR and restoration videos in a game.
ASMR?
Yeah.
What's
So I
that?
guess play it with headphones. I don't know what it stands for. It's just like the quiet. You're just listening to something soft and calming, and it's more about the audio than anything else.
Right. Okay.
Again,
Yeah.
someone out there who's more into ASMR than I am is going to correct me, and I will accept your corrections.
Yeah.
But that's where we're at now with that.
I love that. I think that's that, we throw the term cozy around a bit too much lately, but this sounds actually cozy. Like this sounds like the definition of that to me. So
Mhm.
yeah. I love it. Okay, October 2025 for that one. So out pretty soon. Keep an eye out for that one. Next up is Tiny Bookshop, and this one was available the day of the direct, so it's available now. And it looks like, I guess, you're running, well, literally a tiny a tiny bookshop. It's a bookshop in a caravan of sorts, I suppose. It has a
Ye-
yeah.
it's like a food. It's a food truck of books.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It is, and it's kind of got this, scenery that's very, what do you call that? Brushstroke kind of art style, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you're stocking, bookshelves with different genres. People come and get books off you. Yeah, it does look like a food a food truck. It's like, yeah, the bookstore of food trucks.
Actually, what it reminds me of when we were kids back when I was a kid, a long time ago, the main library in my hometown had a bookmobile,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they would drive it to the schools, and you could go into the bookmobile one class at a time, a few of you. They would change the books every time they came out, and then you could get a book from the public library instead of your school library. So it was a chance to get your hands on some different books. That to
Cool.
me is what this looks like, except it's being hauled around by a car,
Yeah.
so it's just maybe just some people who have a lot of books and want to share them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I
Hmm.
support you.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like there's lots of characters. There's a town to kind of, I don't know if explore is the right word, but it does look like there's elements where you're not in the bookshop, you're around town meeting people and doing different things. So, yeah, you curate your books, decorate your shop, advise customers, and make friends is kind of the definition there. So, yeah, very cute. Very
Yeah.
cute.
Oh, and they're apparently real books.
Oh, okay. I
Like,
like,
I'm looking at a
yeah.
screenshot. It's got the two towers in there. So
Right. Okay.
yeah, well,
Interesting.
yeah. Now I want to play it just to see what books they've got in there.
Yeah. That's kind of cool. I wonder how many books they have. Like, there are 100 to choose from, 1,000 to choose from. I
Yeah,
wonder. Yeah. And do you think it's like a book swap thing where someone brings you a book and you give them a book? Or do you think they're buying
it
books?
could
Because
be.
where are you getting your books from otherwise, right?
Yeah,
In this tiny
or
bookshop.
maybe they talk about books they like, and then you've got to recommend
Mm,
new
mhm.
ones. Oh, yeah, you read the Hitchhiker's Guide. You might like Good Omens.
So it sounds like, yeah, this is maybe created by people who, you know, are avid readers who do like books. I wonder if that you would need to like books to enjoy this game, or if you could just pick random books if you didn't know many.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Mm. Yeah. But it certainly looks cute, and certainly does look like if you're a book lover, this could be a game for you to enjoy. So, yeah, it is available now, like I said. So, do let us know, listeners, if you've tried this one. It's on the Switch. This one. Next up is Caves of, and I don't know how to say this. Quid.
I'm not even going to try. Could there's no I. Cud. Let's go. Cud.
Cud, yeah, QUD. So I typed it wrong, sorry. But if the official one is QUD, I think I typed QUUD. Caves of Could. Yeah, Could. That makes sense to me. It's a science fantasy roguelike epic adventure, chiseled through thousands of years of civilizations. So I guess it's a survival type of game. It's a top down kind of thing. This one looked really like a very retro style, didn't it? Like a pixelated approach to
Mhm.
it. So, and it says it's 17 years in the making somehow. I'm not sure what the background of this one is, but it stands out if you're a fan of kind of old school games. I think this might be one for you. Looks like you can change a lot of different elements to do with your character or even create your character. And then you're kind of doing, I guess, there's digging and fighting. I don't know what to make of this. It's a little too retro for me, I think, but I'm not sure. Do you have an opinion?
Yeah, I got to point out that I have never seen a retro game that looks so much to me like it was developed for the Intellivision.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is even before 8-bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it does look, it's not even 8-bit, right?
No.
Yeah. Interesting. So I'm guessing the developers are, enthusiastic fans of this kind of, that's why people make games, because they like what they do, like the bookshop one, they like books. Um, I think these people, whoever created this one, are into this style and the genre, and they've made something they feel passionate about. Like we said right at the start, it's all about the passion from these developers. This one, when does this one come out? I just missed it. I think it was this year, Q4 of 2025 for
Okay.
the Switch. So interesting. It's not going to be for everyone, but I think it will have it will have an audience. I don't know if that's you, Kirk, since you were into in television.
Well, it could be. Right now I'm going completely off the visuals,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
they appeal to me. So let's
yeah,
hope.
yeah, exactly. Next up is Strange Antiquities, and this one comes out 17th of September. This one has another kitty. I don't think they used any puns. No, they didn't, because this was the quick overview. So, what are you doing? It's a cozy shop kind of experience. It's another shop, but this one looks very different to Tiny Bookstore. It's looks like more of a point and click kind of style, maybe. Yeah, and the
Yeah.
store is kind of full of maybe ancient artifacts or kind of dark objects. I I think. I don't know. What do you think about this one?
Let's see. Well, it's described as an occult puzzle game.
Yeah, right.
Um,
Mhm.
so I dig that. Yeah, but if you're going to say it's an occult puzzle game, I got to see what kind of puzzles they are. I mean, that's a very open ended term.
Yeah, mhm.
Um, but yeah, I do like the visuals. I can't tell if I'm saying that they're more Victorian or like 1800s
Mm.
America kind of thing. Like they're almost like you'd walk into the shop in the old West, really. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's got a good look. I want to see more. I need
Mm.
like if they had given me a minute or two on this game during the direct instead of breezing through it at the end, I think I would be happier.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It is really hard to tell with this little snippet, but it does look quite unique, yeah. I'm not sure what the puzzles are either, but it does, there's a bit of a longer trailer I just sort of discovered, sorry. Had I discovered it earlier, I would have shown you, and it looks like it's yeah, you're moving objects from shelves into the middle of the screen kind of thing, where the owner is or something, and I'm not sure why, but you have to find different objects, I think. So it might be an hidden object game or a, you know, point and click, you know, I'm not sure what the puzzle side of it is. But yeah, we need more. We need more. Definitely interesting and definitely has that kind of not washed out, but yeah, sort of an old like almost like it's an antique itself, right? It has that kind of
Yes, yeah.
orangey brown tint to it to make it look aged. Mm, interesting. Next up is Opus Prism Peak Fall, which is said to be coming in 2025 for Switch 1 and Switch 2. And in this one, you are a photojournalist and you've left behind the city life only to find yourself stranded in a spirit inhabited mountainous kind of area by the looks of it. So, this one again visually looks pretty interesting. It's kind of got a bit of a not exactly kind of a Studio Ghibli vibe, maybe. I don't know how you describe it. It looks like an animation to me though. And you've got to capture, I think, something to do with the spirits in this one. And again, sorry, Kirk, I should give you more information. I've just found this as I've been talking. But like we've said, the direct did not give us much to go on. But there is a longer trailer. You can find it on YouTube as well. That gives you a lot more details. So if you're watching this podcast on YouTube, I will put the full trailer in, so you will see more about it as we go. But it certainly looks interesting. There's kind of talking animals, unless they're the spirits, but yeah, it does have a very anime-esque vibe to it, to me. Yeah. Anything from you?
Yeah, it looks to be like one of the kind of games. Obviously, we see two main characters
Mhm.
are being featured in almost every screenshot that I see. So
Mm,
it
mhm.
looks like some kind of relationship is developing here. Not like romantic. That doesn't look like that's the age where
Yeah.
too much of an age difference.
Mhm.
Um, but some kind of adventure. There seems to be a lot of exploring. Uh, yeah, give me more.
Yeah.
I know I've said
Yeah.
that a lot today, but I should have pulled up the full trailer on this game because it is out there. So my apologies for not
No, I
preparing this before for
that's
Opus
all good, it's all
Prism
good.
Peak.
Yeah, it's all good. Next up is Go-Go Town, and this one I actually am aware of this one because I met the team at PAX in 2023. They were there, showing off the game. So it's been in development for quite some time, and even back then they were keen to come to the Switch. They are finally coming to the Switch, and it's due to happen, was it spring 2026? So that'll be, I guess, the first half of next year? Yeah. This team, they're also launching, I believe, on Steam at the same time. They've had lots of demos and early access kind of things, like what do you call it, where you're testing kind of stuff. They've had lots of that over the last couple of years. I'm on their mailing list. They're a really cool team. They're from Australia, and Go-Go Town is like it's a sim. You're building a town and renovating. Like it's all about fixing up this town and building things, building shops, attracting tourists, and you hire staff and things like that. Basically managing the town. So there's a lot to it, and yeah, I'm really excited for the team to see them come to the Switch finally because they're big Nintendo fans, and they did say in their press release that I got they don't have any news on Switch 2 at this point, but they're not ruling out a Switch 2 version in the future. So that would be exciting too. But yeah, they have been working. This is like what you said earlier, Kirk, that these teams have been working on these games for a long time and have obviously had the Switch development kits and have been, that's what they've been aiming towards. So yeah, it's really, I was really happy to see them at the end of this direct. One of the last ones there. I'm like, oh, Go-Go Town, I've played that. The team took me through it, yeah, at PAX, and I had a really cool hands-on time with it. So look forward to that one. And
To
yeah.
me, it looks a little bit like it's kind of got an Animal Crossing thing going
Yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yes, definitely. Definitely has that vibe to it. There's a lot to it. Yeah, there's a lot of the building element is really cool as well, and it would have changed a lot. I haven't tried it recently, but I know because I get the emails. I've seen the different things they keep adding over time and testing and fixing and making bigger and better. So the final release should be something pretty special for fans of that kind of genre, I'd say. Yeah. And the very last game that was in this direct was something called UFO 50, and that was available straight away after the direct. So it's out right now. I have seen the team talking a little bit about this online, and they were so. This is one of the teams that was like, "We're so excited to be, featured in the direct," and I guess being the last one also is kind of special because it's like the last thing people see. And this is another retro inspired title. Looks very much like almost like a Metroid kind of situation. I don't know if it's a Metroidvania, but it has side-scrolling and top-down elements, battles. It kinda has everything. But it does have, would you call this 8-bit, do you think?
Yeah, boy, this just reminds me of the games I used to play on like my friends' PCs, like what VGA, CGA graphics.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting out of this.
Mhm. Yeah, because it's actually a collection that I guess the title, UFO 50, it's a collection of 50 games.
Mhm.
So there's a bit of everything. You journey through the library, you make connections, learn more about, I guess, this fictional 80s company behind the games called UFO Soft. Very interesting concept. Yeah, UFO 50. So I don't know that we've had a game with 50 games in it before or recently. That's like a lot, right? That's
Yeah, not outside unless you consider like the games in a WarioWare game.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly. I don't know how long these games are, but 50 is a lot. And there's, like I said, it looks some of them look like Metroid, some of them look like, I guess, I don't know, your top down, what do you call it? Sort of isometric view, RPG style.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's gonna be a mixed bag of styles here. Maybe they're quite short, but and if
It
half of
looks
them.
like we've got like a first person or maybe third person dungeon crawler
Mhm.
in one, some typical arcade style games from the 80s in a
Yeah,
couple.
yeah. There's certainly a lot going on. Very interesting. I love that they've got this whole kind of made up world, in terms of the fictional team that's made made these games. There's got to be a story there. So very interesting indeed. Very, very interesting. So there's a lot to enjoy there. I wasn't sure if this would take up the full hour, Kirk, but it looks like it has. So we have a couple of other little news items we could go through if we have time. Do we have time to do that?
Uh, let's see what was on the list here. I could talk quickly about Chained Echoes,
Yeah.
um,
What's the deal with that?
because Chained Echoes is a RPG, a throwback RPG, kind of along the lines of Sea of Stars.
Hmm.
That came out, was it last year, 2 years ago? I gave it 9.5 out of 10.
Wow.
Absolutely love this game. If you love Sea of Stars, you're going to love Chained Echoes. And they just released on August 7th DLC. It's paid DLC. It's $9.99,
Hmm.
called Ashes of Elrond. Um, but if you played that game, get this. You don't need to have finished it. I think I haven't actually played it myself yet, but it's a kind of a side story that takes place, I believe, maybe a third of the way through the game. I'm not sure, but
Cool.
new characters, some new. There's like a new fishing mechanic. It looks like it's really going to add quite a bit to it. So just want to make
Nice.
sure everyone knows of that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that just came out during the week, right? Like the 7th of
Hmm.
August. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think I have this game. I think I maybe is there a demo for this one? I might have played the
I
demo.
believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I do have Sea of Stars, and that is amazing. This has always been on my list. I just haven't had time to to get it properly and play it properly. I haven't even finished Sea of Stars yet. So, it's certainly the demo is lovely, and it's yeah, obviously got very good reviews, including yours. So, thank you for bringing that to our attention. That's really something kind of special there. Yeah.
Yep.
Um, the other quick thing is that Dragon Drive is actually out this week, which is the 14th. So hopefully we'll be talking a bit more about that next week, if I get a chance to play it. But that's kind of I guess Nintendo's next. I don't know if you call it a big game, but it's their next thing. I don't know if it's going to be the next Splatoon. In terms of it's a multiplayer, arcade kind of online, not battle. Well, it is kind of a battle, but it's like a sport-based battle, and
Yeah.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. They're promoting it a bit more now. There was a new trailer, and obviously uses the mouse controls quite heavily. So this is the thing that maybe will make or break these mouse controls. If it does well, if people like it, if it's, popular, then maybe there'll be more mouse-based games. I don't know. But it'll be interesting to see. And it's not very expensive, this one. I think it was at 20 maybe or 30. It's not a super expensive game. But we'll talk about more about that one next week. Yeah. Anything else you wanted to add?
No, I don't think so. We've we've talked enough now, a couple weeks, that we haven't been able to talk about the games we're playing.
I know. I
So
know.
hopefully we can cover that next week, because I do have a couple exciting ones I want to mention.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Let's hold that over till next week. I think we'll have more time
Yeah,
next week. But yeah,
that's right. Dragon Drive is $20,
$20.
19.99 US.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think that's a good price, especially for a first party game. Does it say, are you on the eShop at the moment?
Yes,
Is it developed by Nintendo or just published? Do we know?
it is. Well, this one gets more details, so I got to scroll down farther to find out. Well, it just says published by Nintendo. It does not list a separate developer.
Yeah, okay. I wonder if that's the case because that's pretty cheap for a first party game. But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm hoping it does well. We'll see. I'm looking forward to giving it a go, just to give you my thoughts. So, yeah, but it's been a really big week in terms of the indie showcase. I love having a look, like to have games to look forward to like this, even though I know I won't be able to play all of these games. I just feel excited to know that they're coming and that someone will like them. And as I said earlier, the developers are excited to get their baby out there. Like that is so cool for them. So let us know, listeners, which of the titles were of interest to you, if any. Like which ones stood out to you? What are your highlights? What are your favorites? Have you played any of these that are out now, or the Mira the Hollower demo, for example? Thank you so much, Kirk, for going through this list with me. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I said, I greatly enjoyed talking about the indie games,
Yeah.
especially when I used to go to the trade shows back when they had E3. Meeting the indie developers was easily
Yeah.
my favorite thing to
Oh,
do.
yeah, it is. It's my favorite part of PAX too. I'm looking forward to going to PAX again, hopefully this year in October, meeting and greeting some more indie devs there as well. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But I guess anything else you wanted to say before we do wrap up for the week?
Nope, I think we're all set. Got some games to play.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, listeners, for joining us. Thank you, Kirk. If you'd like to follow us on social media, you can head on over to Blue Sky and join us there. We are also on Patreon if you'd like to be a supporter and get yourself a physical magazine. We are so close to finishing this issue. I'm so excited to get this out. I'm really excited, Kirk. It's looking good. I'll send it to you soon for proofing. But yeah, it's going to come out soon. So keep your eyes peeled. It's not too late to join us though. If you wanted to get a copy, head on over to patreon.com/Pure Nintendo and you will get yourself the latest issue of the Pure Nintendo magazine. But thank you again. And until next week, game on, everybody. Bye.